Hello. Thank you for staying tuned. And also thank you for the feedback that I'm getting, uh, showing that my works are actually impacting knowledge. This feedback is a booster to me to continue to do what I think I know how to do best, by trying to contribute my own quota in impacting uh, knowledge to people out there. Uh, I still want more of that feedback. Areas that you either feel I needed to throw more light, please don't hesitate to share whatever your worries are, whatever you think about my presentation. That will help me to make it more clearer for you out there. Uh, we are going to be pricing backfill. We are going to be pricing backfill with imported material. We are going to be pricing backfill with imported material. Uh, if you have watched my video for cutting away excess material from site, the difference between the imported material, backfill with imported material, is in this case, you're bringing in material from unknown place, and that unknown place will be paid for because there is no empty land anywhere. The land belongs to somebody, and if you want to take material from there, you needed to pay. And uh, when you needed to pay, and there are equipment you needed to put on that site that will fetch that material and pour into the trucks for the trucks to bring it to the place of need. So you those are the basic uh, variance between the two rates. Then you needed a compactor that will compact because you needed to consolidate those the materials you are bringing to the place of need. So you needed a compactor that can give the bearing capacity that is stipulated in the bill, as required in the bill of quantity. So as you can see, I have listed all the equipments that I shall be needing for the building up of my rate. I need a tipper. The cost of a tipper per day is a 120,000. The cost of a wheel loader per day is 180. These rates are not they are not current rates. So if you're going to replicate my format and you want to replicate the format I am using to teach here, and you should make sure that if you want to make uh, these rates to be the current rate, you have to make sure that this rates that I'm using here are updated to reflect the reality of the cost of this equipment on at the market or at the hiring spot. So the excavator is 250,000 per day, the bulldozer is 250,000 per day. Of course, because I needed to compact, I needed to compact. In this case, I am treating this as though as though I am building up the street for a building project, not a road project. Uh, for a road project, I have divided my rates into two. I have the rates of bringing in the material. Then I have a rate for leveling and compacting. That is where you now have the grader, you now have the compactor. But because I am building this rate as to this is a building project, where uh, the need for the material will not be that much as compared to when you are constructing a long stretch of road. So that is why I'm bringing in the compactor in this instance. Bringing the compactor, but not for that. If it were the road, project, if it were the road project, you see, if it were the road project, I have another rate here, which is leveling and compacting. Leveling and compacting, you need a grader, you need a compactor, you need a water tank, a water tanker that is going to wet the laterite for it to be consolidated properly and all of that. So if the description in the bill of quantity is saying you should bring in the material, you should level it, you should compact it, they are all in one rate. So what I don't need to do is to add this rate to this rate, excluding this compactor. I'll take this compactor out, then it will now become one rate. So the rate will now be a 600 naira plus a 7,000 7,500 to give me what the cost of importing, spreading, compact and compacting. But in this case, I am taking this rate as to I'm building up a rate for imported material to fill in to make up level on a building project. So having said that, as you can see, the bulldozer is not used here. Why I provided the bulldozer here is because if you went to a borrowed pit site and the owners of the borrowed pit said they would not like you to dig a deep hole, they only want you to scoop, meaning take off the topsoil, either gather the topsoil in one space, then you continue to scoop at a very wider space and gather. The bulldozer will gather it in heap. Then either the excavator or the payloader will now fetch and pour into the tipper. So if you are having that kind of circumstances, then you need to put one here so that the cost of the bulldozer will be taken into cognizance in your pricing. But in this case, the assumption is that the borrowed pit, I can dig as deep as I can to fetch whatever thing I want to fetch. So I need just the excavator. I need just the excavator here because the excavator can dig and at the same time pour into the truck at once. So the cost is 250,000. I needed a compactor, a 10-ton compactor that I'm going to use to compact the soil in layers, and the cost is 100,000. Is 100,000. The fuel for the compactor and the for the excavator, the fuel for the compactor and the excavator is 200 liters at 1,200, 240. The excavator is going to take 150 liters, while the compactor is going to take 50 a day. It becomes I have 240. Then I have the grease, oil, the grease, the filter. This can only apply if this equipment belongs to me, because most renting firms, the only thing you rent, servicing is not within your scope. It's only they provide the truck, you provide the fuel. So the servicing, if you are the owner of your trucks, definitely the trucks needed to be serviced at one point or the other. So the cost of servicing has to be factored into your rental, so that you are not taking the actual money that you're using for you've rented the truck to do the servicing. So those things that you needed for the servicing has to be. So, and how do I determine this? Say 4.5%. The say 4.5%. Say I have 10 trucks, and what it costs me every month to service, to buy the filter, the engine oil, the grease, and all of that is like say uh, a 10,000, let's say 10,000 naira for 1 month to buy all the things I need for the servicing. Then, and my monthly rental over time, what is my turnover from the rent, what I rent for a month. So I could get the percentage of what that the 10,000 is to my monthly rental, and I'll set at every time I want to rent this truck out, I'm going to apply 4% or 5% of this cost to take care of the cost of my take care of the cost of the grease, the engine oil, the filters, and all the things that you need to service your truck. Then the cost of operator, the cost of the meat that will, then the cost of mobilization and immobilization. I have the excavator and the compactor can come in one truck, one low bed, because they will not be allowed to move on the road. So it is it's going and coming. That is to and fro. That is 75,000 to, and fro is 75,000, making 150,000. Then how did I determine the 850 cubic meter per day? Per day. The excavator I have rented is a 1.5 cubic meter bucket. 1.5 cubic meter buckets, and that is what it fetches at once, one dig. So, and the excavator can attend to 5 trucks in a day at a stretch. So if you can attend to 5 trucks in a day, and I have already determined that those trucks can go to and from the site 12 times in a day. So, and the carrying capacity of those buckets of the truck is 14 cubic meter. So if it is 14 cubic meter multiplied by 12 times 5 will give me 840 cubic meter in one day. So that's why I see 14 cubic is the carrying capacity of the truck, and they will go 12 times a day, and the trucks are 5 numbers, and that is why you have this 850. So if this is what is the output per day for this equipment to bring to site. So I now divided the cost of the equipment, my daily cost of the equipment, by 700 by 840,000. It gives me 939 naira per cubic meter. Then the cost of borrow pit, just like I did say, there is no free land anywhere. You be asked to pay. Some instance, the owners of the borrow pit will either charge you per truck. That say the truck is any truck that leaves the site field, you pay say 1,000, or you pay say 2,000 naira. That can be applicable, or you given a vast land and said fetch from this place and pay us say 5 million naira. So they are not concerned about the total volume you want to take. Just this area, take what you want to take. Our cost is 5 million. So if that is what is being applied in this instance, say, and the total volume you needed from that place to fill up your building project is a 10,000 cubic, and you're asked to pay 5 million. So if you divide 5 million by 10,000 cubic that you needed to fetch from there, it gives you a 500 per cubic meter. A 500 per cubic meter. But if you charge per truck, say whatever you take from the the place you are going to pay, say 5,000. So the volume of 14 cubic, if it is a 14 cubic truck, divide by say the 5,000, give you the cost per cubic meter in that cost per cubic meter. So either way can be applicable. Then of course, here I have I made provision, say one labor. What is the average output of a labor to spread the the material brought to site? One labor can do a 3 cubic meter in a day. And say if the cost of one labor is 3,000, the cost of one labor is 3,000. So 3,000 divided by 3 cubic that he's going to spread in a day for the compactor to now roll on it. So it becomes 1,000. That is the cost for that labor is 1,000 per cubic meter. So the cost for the material and equipment, excluding truck, is 2,439. Then the cost for one truck is 120 per day. The cost of one truck is 120 per day. Then the fuel it will take for it to work all through the day is 80 liters by 1 to gives you 96. And you have a 216 as the cost of the truck per day. Then what is the distance from the borrowed pit to the site? If the distance is, say, the truck can go from the site to the borrowed pit, say, 30 minutes. There are other idle time you need to factor into. If the 4 trucks or the 3 trucks gets to the borrowed pit at once, the excavator is not going to fill all of them at once. 4 will be waiting for one to be filled up before the next one will go. Then when it gets to where it needed to either offload, if there are obstructions there, it needed to wait. I needed to be guided. If there are activities going on, it needed to wait for it to be guided to the appropriate place it needed to unload. So you factor those times as well as part of the trip time, part of the time it used to go and come from the borrowed pit. So in this instant, I have a 30 minutes to and fro from site, and this 30 minutes will be determined considering every factor along the road, the traffic jam, the bottlenecks along all what it will take it at whatever time to get to that borrowed pit and be back. Say it's 30 minutes, then the idle time is 40 minutes, it's 10 minutes. So you add it together, you get a 40 minutes. Then 40 minutes, and the working time, daily working time is 8 hours. 8 hours multiplied by 60 minutes, which is the total minutes you need to work for one day. Then divide by 40 minutes, which is the traveling time. You now have the number of trips that the truck can go to the site, go to the borrowed pit and back to site. So you now have, it will go 12 trips. If you compute this, you see it's going to come to 12 trips. So if it is 12 trips, so 12 trips divided by, that is 216,000. For you to get the cost of one trip, you need to divide 216 by 12 trips to get the cost of one trip. So the cost of one trip is 18,000. So if the cost of one trip is 18,000, then what is the volume that truck, the volume that truck will carry in one trip? It is 14 cubic meter in a bulk state. When you dig, the earth, the sand or the lateral will tend to bulk. But when you compact it, it will shrink. And now the rate you are building up for is not you delivering loose sand. You are building up a rate for a compacted laterite. That is what you're being paid for. So, and this bulk laterite, when it is compacted, it shrinks to about 33%. So if it shrink to about 33%, so what you're going to the effective material that truck is carrying is it's 30% less. So if it is 30% less, and that is what I did here, this is what the truck carries from the borrowed pit. Then if you less the bulking, you now have a 10.6 cubic meter. So if it is a 10.6 cubic meter, you now divide 18,000 by 10.6 to get the cost for 1 cubic meter. So the cost for 1 cubic meter is 1,696. 1,696 plus the cost for the other heavy equipment gives you 4,136. Then, of course, there are no projects that you don't have indirect staffs, the engineers. Maybe you have a project manager, you have offices, you have security that will guide the equipment after close of work, even during the close of work. You have cleaners, you have the toilets, you have all the things that falls under the preliminary items. Say you have computed it and divided. Let's assume that the only job you are asked to come and you are bidding for is just um, you export material from outside and compact the soil. So after building up the cost of your engineer, cost of project manager, the offices and all the things you are going to provide, they are divided by, say, if it is a 10,000 cubic meter you are expected to do in the bill, it will give you an amount. Say maybe if it gives you 2,000, that is the cost for the indirect cost to the project. 2,000 in addition to this makes 6,130 something. Then your because normally this has to, the indirect has to pick it. So I will now say this 2,000. I will now sum up. I will now sum up this. Then I will now pick this. I will now pick this. So it will now become this will now come. So the cost for your per cubic meter for imported material and compacted imported material and also compact is 7,854. So this is my approach. Please, if you have any query concerning my presentation, please send me your worries, and if this has been able to throw more light to your understanding of rates building up for this item in the bill, please do not just keep it to yourself. Share to other friends, even to other members in the build industry for knowledge purposes. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.